Hi guys, and welcome back to another championship prediction video. Last weekend we got one score correct, Bristol City drawing 1-1 with Sheffield United, and a few things happened. Officially, Derby are relegated and Fulham are promoted. So I'm pretty sure after this weekend of fixtures a lot more is going to be confirmed, especially in that relegation battle, because it's looking pretty tied up already, but we'll probably have confirmation this weekend of that. Before we get into the predictions, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I want to set a like goal of 10 likes for this video, so if we can get that, that'll be great. Last time out, we hit 15, so we smashed it. And subscribers, I'm currently on 99. Can we try and hit 105 by the end of this weekend? That would be massive. So let's try and do that, and let's get into the predictions. And starting off with Huddersfield taking on Barnsley. Two ends of the table here. Huddersfield, they're unbeaten in 4, and they only really need one more win to guarantee a playoff spot. So they've had a brilliant season. They won their last one 2-0 away against Middlesbrough. Barnsley, on the other hand, they're in a tricky situation now because they haven't won in their last 5, and they need to win all 4 of their remaining fixtures, with Reading losing all 3 of their remaining fixtures for Barnsley to be safe. That's now the only way. So it looks like Barnsley are relegated. I'm 99% sure of it, but anything can happen, so you've just got to wait until after this weekend, and I'd imagine Barnsley will be relegated. My prediction for this one, I'm going to go Barnsley to get relegated and Huddersfield to win 2-0. Next up, Luton take on Blackpool. And Luton, they've only lost 1 out of 7. They've won 2 in a row, both 1-0, against Forest and against Cardiff. And you've got to think they're in a similar boat to Huddersfield. Probably only need one more win to secure that playoff spot. So, great season from Luton as well. Blackpool, they hadn't won in 5. And then they went and absolutely smashed Blues 6-1. I think this is more of Blues being very bad. Blackpool can only really beat what's in front of them, and there's so many issues on at Blues at the moment. But fair play to Blackpool. As I said, they did the job. They beat what was in front of them. Beat them emphatically. And they've had a good season. You know, Blackpool, I think a lot of people would have had them in a relegation battle at least, if not relegated. And they haven't been anywhere near that all season. They haven't really been involved in a relegation battle at all. So, brilliant season for Blackpool, and I'm sure they can build on it next season. For this game though, Luton need the points a lot more. They're at home. They're going to go for it. So Luton to win 2-1. Bournemouth take on Fulham next. The top 2 going at it. And Bournemouth, they've only lost 1 out of 9. They beat Coventry 3-0 away in their last match. They're definitely taking the right steps to securing that second automatic promotion spot. I think a few weeks ago, a lot of people thought Forest were going to get it. And these two teams still do have a few more games to play than others. But if Bournemouth carry on their form, they will end up in second place. They're taking on a Fulham side that beat Preston 3-0 and are officially promoted. So congratulations to Fulham. I mean, I'm not really surprised. They do bounce up and down every single season, but they got the job done. Mitrovic has 40 goals so far in the season, and 42 have been played. I don't know if he's played in all of them, but Fulham have played 42. So could Mitrovic, just have a ridiculous end to the season and get, 46 goals or something stupid and have a goal per game? That would be a record that would never be broken. But carrying on with this, Bournemouth beat Fulham. Obviously, Bournemouth need the points more, but I don't think Fulham are just going to switch off. So I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1. And up next, Blues take on Millwall. And if you realise by my tone, I'm not too enthusiastic about this one. Blues, we're just in really, really terrible form at the moment. Lost 3 in a row. And the last 2 that we've lost over the Easter weekend, we conceded 10 goals. That was a 4-2 against Coventry where we were 2-0 up. And then a 6-1 against Blackpool. It's really not good enough. And I think in that Blackpool game, I think the players sort of have had enough. Because you compare our squad to Blackpool's squad. Yes, they've been better this season, but there's not that much difference in quality. Yet we were absolutely battered, and the players just did not look like they cared at all. So for Blues now, I think we've got Millwall, Cardiff, Blackburn. That's 3 losses, I think. And I don't think Bowyer will be in the job at the end of the season. As much as I wanted it to all work out for him because, you know, he's a great Blues player. He brought us the Carling Cup and all that sort of stuff. I just think the players have lost faith now. And with everything going on, I sort of want Bowyer to walk of his own accord rather than get sacked and sort of have his head held high. But I know that he's going to want to fix the issues. And I know that ultimately that's going to end in him being sacked. Millwall, unbeaten in 3, beat Hull 2-1 in their last game, and I don't see an issue for them here. Millwall to win, 3-1. Derby take on Bristol City next. And Derby, they lost 1-0 to QPR, and that means they're now relegated. Do feel sorry for them, mainly their fans, because if you look at their home form this season, they've been incredible. Away form, they haven't been really bad. And they'd be well above the relegation zone if you add the points that they were deducted onto them. So they've really, really performed well considering, you know, I looked at their squad at the start of the season, saw that they didn't really have many players at all. A lot of them were youngsters. Sort of thought that that squad would probably end in the relegation zone alone without the point deductions. But they've done well this season. They can be proud of their performance. It's just a shame that, you know, they couldn't do the great escape, but no one would be expected to do that. So it's been expected for Derby to get relegated, but they fought very well. They're playing a Bristol City side that drew their last game 1-1 against Sheffield United. They're always good for a goal, Bristol City. So every time Bristol City play, I sort of expect both teams to score. But with Derby at home, they're very good. Bristol City normally always score. I'm going to back Derby. I think even though they're relegated, they're going to want to try and finish on the most points possible. So I'm going to go Derby to win 2-1. Interesting game here that could have an effect on the relegation zone. Hull take on Reading. Now Hull, they lost their last game 2-1 against Millwall after 2 wins on the bounce. And yeah, they're safe. So they've had a good season. They've just came up. They're expected to try and avoid relegation. And they've met that expectation. So good season for Hull. With new ownership, they'll be hoping that they can really push on now next season and try and get back to the Premier League in the next few. I think that might be a step too far, but solid championship status is what they're really looking for. They're facing Reading, who are very important at the moment because Reading, they've been in very good form. They drew their last game 4-4 with Swansea after being 4-1 down. It was an absolutely crazy comeback from Reading. And that now means they only need 2 points to secure safety, or Peterborough and Barnsley have to not win a game. Peterborough and Barnsley, to catch Reading now, need to win every single game with Reading, losing all of them. So Reading just need the 2 points. And I just think this weekend, Reading are going to be safe, not even mattering what they do, because I can't see Peterborough and Barnsley winning games, because maybe Peterborough, but Barnsley haven't looked at it for a while. So for this game, I think it's going to be tight, and I think it will be down the middle. I'm going to go Hull to draw with Reading 1-1. and the fixture list has not been kind. Peterborough face Forest. Now Peterborough need to win all of their remaining games, and they're giving it a good go, showing a bit of fight, unbeaten in 4, won 2 in a row, including a massive 2-0 victory over Barnsley. Very, very good for them. But they're facing Forest. Forest, so in form at the moment. Yes, they lost one game, 1-0 against Luton, but bounced back from that. Battered West Brom 4-0, and I don't see Forest slowing down. They've got too much quality, which sadly for me means that Peterborough will be relegated this weekend. Forest, I think, obviously they've got way more quality here, but I think Peterborough will try and hold out and give it a go. I just see Forest being too much. So I'm going to go Forest win 2-1. Sheffield United take on Cardiff next. And Sheffield United, they haven't won in 3, and they've only won 2 out of their last 7, which has really opened the door for someone to come and take that 6th spot off them, because I think from 5th above are guaranteed to finish, in playoffs or higher. But this 6th spot is really up for grabs because Sheffield United's form has dropped off, and it's opened the door for some teams to, come and grab that opportunity. Sheffield United are playing against Cardiff, and Cardiff have lost 2 in a row, lost their last one 1-0 against Luton. So it's worked out well for Sheffield United, but if they don't win this, they will be worrying and looking over their shoulder. I'm going to go Sheffield United to win 1-0. Stoke take on QPR next, and Stoke are in really good form. Won 4 out of 6, beat Blackburn 1-0 in their last match. It's quite a shame for them because they started the season so well. Middle of the season, they just went off it, and then they're finishing well as well. So if they could have been a bit better in the middle of the season, they'd probably be in the playoffs now. But they're facing QPR, and QPR had lost 5 in a row. It looked like they were, never going to finish in a playoff spot after being so consistent throughout the season. And then a draw against Huddersfield, a 1-0 win against Derby, and they look like they're in with a shout again. They're only 3 points off the playoffs, and they are very lucky that the people around them and are just above them haven't been in amazing form, or they could have taken this opportunity from QPR. But QPR really have a chance now to, make everything right after such a bad run of form. Put it all right by nicking a playoff space, in the last few days. It's going to be a tough one though for QPR because this Stoke side are winning a lot of games and they do have quality. They've just always struggled for consistency. For this one, I think I'm going to have to go down the middle. 1-1. A big game in the playoff picture next. As Swansea take on Middlesbrough. Now Swansea, unbeaten in 7, drawn 2 in a row, drew their last one 4-4 with Reading. After being 4-1 up, they'll be disappointed not to have won it, but they got a point, and Swansea have really finished this season well. With a lot of teams slipping up above them, they have a chance of getting the playoffs. I know it seems like a long shot. They do have a chance, but they could have done with some of these recent draws being wins just to give themselves those extra points to get there. But they're playing against a Middlesbrough side that haven't won in 4 and have only picked up 1 point in that space of time. They're sitting just outside the playoffs, but they don't seem to want a playoff space. It's quite similar to Sheffield United. Their form's dropped as soon as they've got in the playoff positions. Middlesbrough's form's not great. QPR, Blackburn, their form's not great. No one seems to want that last playoff position. And it's quite difficult because with rumours linking Wilder elsewhere, it looks like if they don't finish in the playoffs and go up this season, Wilder might leave. But they've just got to knuckle down and try and get those results in and finish in that last playoff spot. However, I'm going to go for a bit of an unhelpful result here. Unhelpful draw, down the middle, quite a big shout for these teams, but 2-2. West Brom take on Coventry now, and West Brom, it's been a season to forget for them, hasn't it? Lost 3 out of 5, lost their last one 4-0 against Forest. They just want to put this behind them and, try and progress next season and get in the top 6. Coventry, they had won 2 in a row, and then they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. To be honest, I didn't expect it. I thought Coventry at home were going to get a win and a draw maybe, but for some reason I didn't see a loss coming. But they lost it. They're now 4 points off the playoffs. They're going to need a strong finish to this season, probably 3 wins to get one of those playoff spots. And I'm going to go for them to get the first out of those 3 here. Not saying they will get all 3, but this will help massively. Coventry to win 2-1. And finally, Preston take on Blackburn. And Preston, they lost 3-0 against Fulham, but they were unbeaten in 3 before that. So decent form from them. Blackburn, they haven't won in their last 5, and they've lost 2 in a row. So it's very worrying for Blackburn at the moment because, like QPR, they had such a good start and looked destined for a playoff spot at least. And now it just looks like they've got no chance. However, Blackburn, if they pick themselves up and get a couple of wins, they've got every chance of getting in there. I'm just not sure I can see it. I'm going to go Preston to win 1-0. So, those are my predictions for these upcoming championship fixtures. Getting into the business end of the season now, only a few games left. And by my predictions, Barnsley and Peterborough will officially be relegated this weekend. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Put your predictions down there. Make sure to like the video. Remember, 10 likes is my goal. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more championship content. I'm going to say it, but I don't think anything positive is going to come from it. Up the Blues.